In this tutorial, we're going to go over the basics of Git, which is version controlling for any project, typically something coding related, but it could really be any files that you have. So let's go over how to get up and running. I have my little cheat sheet here in this Google slide. All right, a couple things up front. If you have a Mac and you have Xcode on your computer, you should automatically have Git installed. There are a few programs on even on Windows and Linux and Macs that when you install that program, by default you get Git. If you're not sure, you can do git and then /-- version, and you can see if you have Git. If you have Git, it'll come back and tell you which version. If you don't, there's a web link right here, and I gave a kind of directions for each of the three main platforms, Mac, Linux, and Windows. You can go to the sites or just do these command prompts to get Git installed on your machine. It's pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy. If you just want to install Xcode, that's one surefire way to get it. So anyway, I'm going to kind of assume that you could figure that out. It's not tricky. And then let's go through setting up a project. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to do this. I'm just somewhere on my computer on the desktop here. I'm going to create a new folder. Call this whatever I want. I'll just call it git-test. Well, I already have one there. We'll say git test 2. All right, and so before I do anything, I should create a file in there. So I'm just going to create an HTML file. I'm in brackets here, and I'm going to make sure I save it in that folder that I was just talking about, the git test 2, and we'll call this index.html. Save. This is just a dummy page that just has some basic HTML. And actually, you know what? I'll even put like hello world, and I'll say my first page, just to kind of keep track. I'm going to hit save, and now we're going to come in here, and I'm going to say git init. All right, and so it initialized empty Git repository, and so that's fine. So let's do git status, and it says there are no commits yet. There is one untracked file called index.html. That's perfect, exactly what I was hoping. So let's do an add. So we'll say git add, and I'm just going to put a space and a dot. That dot means that all the current files in the directory will be added to the staging area. And so if I do git status again, you'll see there's no commits yet, but this is now green. That means it's been staged. Okay, it tells you how to unstage it if you wanted to. But let's actually commit it. We'll say git commit -m, and the -m allows us to actually add a message to our commit. And so I'm just going to say first commit and press enter. And that's great. So that's letting us know that it added it, and we can do our git status again, and nothing to commit, working on a clean tree. So that's good. So that means that we actually added it. And so I'm going to show you this git log. You can do git log. I like to do the one line, because it's just nice and brief and concise. And so it tells us what's being committed already. And that's gives you a little ID associated with it. That's our master commit, the head commit, because it's our current commit. So let's add a little more to this. Let's just quickly look at some of the other features here. So if I was to create a new folder, call it sub, and I'm going to actually I'll copy, paste that right in there, and I'm going to open this one with brackets as well, and I'll say my sub folder, doc, save. You know what, I'm going to even go up here and say my second page, just so I got, this is my second commit, I should say. All right, saving that. Now let's go back to terminal. And I just want you to see how it could affect subdirectories as well. So now we could go to, let's go and run the same function again. We'll go do status and see we got some stuff there that we should try and stage. So remember, the stage is the git add, and the dot means it's going to try and stage everything. And so you see now the whatever has been changed is up for staging. Okay, and so now we'll just go to here, and I'm going to change this to say second commit, and enter, and 2 files changed. Let's see the status, all good, right? So working clean again, and then we'll do the one-liner again, git log one line, and you see now we have the second commit is the master one, that's the current one. The first commit is right here, and so that's great. And so we could even, let's see, I'll even do this like, my third commit, save, and go in here, and I'm going to do a status, and you'll see there is one file that's been changed. I'm going to go ahead and do an add, and then I'm not even going to bother looking at the status because I know what that is, but let's do one more commit, our third commit, and I'll just do it like that, and perfect. And so if we go do our one line again, see now we have 3, but let's say I want to get back that original index.html file. So I could do that by doing what's called a checkout. And so I say git checkout, and I need that, whatever this is here, that ID, I have to reference that, and then what's file from the first commit. Well, there was only one file, but I still have to identify it. Otherwise, it could delete like the subfolder and go back to that. But I only just want this. So I'm going to do that. Say it updated one path, it said. So look, there it is. It's actually, it shows it right there. It went back to the first file. So it just changed that right in brackets. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to refresh that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do. So that's all the basics though of Git. The only other thing I'll mention is you can create you can create a file called .gitignore, and you can just make it with any like text editor or this brackets. And if you just put line by line names of folders or files in there, Git will ignore them and it won't do any version control on them. Just an FYI. That's it though. Let me know. I'm going to do some future tutorials with this. I'll show you how you can actually do commits to remote repositories like a GitHub or BitBucket. But that's all for Git, the local version.